Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is still. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Divani and you're watching ETH. This is a channel whereby we bring you lessons in mathematics, chemistry, and physics. So without wasting any time, let's get to it. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys functions. Now, what are functions? A function is a rule whereby uh, for every x, there's only one y value. Right. Now, how do we test functions? We use a vertical test line or a vertical line test. For instance, if you have a function like that one, you have a parabolic function. We have a parabolic graph, sorry, not a function, because we don't know yet. We still have to test. Now, if I draw a vertical line and my vertical line cut once, then that's a function. Now, if I tilt or if I rotate the parabolic graph, if I draw a vertical line, it will cut twice, and that is not a function. All right. Now we're gonna deal with three different types of function. We're gonna do parabola, hyperbola, and exponential functions. Now, with the parabola can be written in two forms, whereby y is given by ax squared plus bx plus c, or can be written as a into x minus p or plus p, let's say plus p, and plus q. All right. Now, this is the parabola. If you draw a line of symmetry, you are able to divide this function into two equal parts. However, we need to determine the key points. These are the key points. These are the key points. Now, point A is the y-intercept. Point B, and so point A is the y-intercept. Then point B and D, these are so-called roots. Then point C is the turning point. Right. Now, what is the domain of that function? domain of that function is that all the egg, or this graph covers all the values of x. So it covers the domain, it covers all numbers. So it is the element of real numbers, and then your range, let's say if this was point, let's say point z, your range, even if we don't write point z, sorry, your range will be given by y is greater than the value of the function, greater than or equal to the value of the function at the turning point. At the turning point. All right. Now, how do we find the x value and the y value at the turning point? At the turning point, what we know is that the derivative of your function with respect to x is 0, which means the slope of your function is given by 0. So what does that mean? What is the derivative of your function? The derivative of your function, so 0 equals the derivative of your function. So in this matter, it will be a to the power 2 minus 1, which is 1. So it's ax plus b, right? No, the 2 must go down, sorry. So it will be 2ax plus b. Now, your x at that, now at the turning point, this is the turning point, your derivative is 0. So your x, say 2ax equals minus b. Therefore, x equals minus b over 2a. So therefore, the range can be given by its y greater than or equal to the value of the function at minus b over 2a. That is the range. All right. Now, now the question is, what is the value of c? The value of c is therefore equal given by your x value will be minus b over 2a, and then your y value is given by that. Right. Then your a is given by value of q. Then your b is given by the roots. It is actually the roots. Now, how do we get the roots? If you go to the graph, you will notice that the roots, in order to find the roots, your y value will be 0. I think a lot of you guys will agree with me. All right. In this function, we know that, all right, if we take out a So in order for me to solve x, I need to complete the square. So I will take out a, and I'll be left with a x squared plus b over a. If you have any questions, you can put them on the comments. You can comment, please comment and like. This is what we're going to be left with, equals to 0. And if we divide by a, we'll have 0 equals ax squared plus b over ax plus c over a. All right, that looks familiar. Now, how do we complete the square? Now, in order to complete the square, we need to check what the first expression will be in the first bracket. The square root of x squared is x plus. We need to find out what we are going to put in the brackets. Now, what we know is that in order to find that expression, we need to multiply the first expression in the brackets and this one as well, multiply by 2 because this is the square. Now, that's what we do in order to, so basically the expression, in order to get the expression, you have to multiply 2 multiplied by your first expression, x, multiplied by this expression. Let's say this expression is, let's just call it e. Right. Now, how do we solve e? Now, e will be the expression divided by 2x. Now, the expression is b over ax. b over ax over 2x. Now, this 2 will cancel, and we will be left with b over 2a. All right, so we will take that value and put it in there, b over 2a. Guys, if you have any questions, do not hesitate. So when completing the square, if you add an expression, you have to subtract it. However, I have to subtract the square of that value, which is b squared over 4a squared, and then plus c over a. Right. Now, I'm going to take this expression, this expression, which is independent of x, to the other side. Now, this becomes b squared over 4a squared minus c over a equals x plus b over 2a squared. Right. Now, in order to solve the square, we need to find the square root both sides. However, let me first simplify this expression. So here we have b squared minus 4ac. So if you find the lowest common denominator is actually 4a. Lowest common denominator is 4a. So if I multiply c by 4a, I'll get 4ac. If I multiply b squared by 1, then I get b squared. So we have b squared over 4a squared is given by x plus b over 2a. All right. But remember, sorry, squared, yes. Now, in order to find, to solve for this expression, we need to determine or to determine the square roots. So the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared is given by x. Sorry, by the way, this is plus or minus. Plus or minus, because even the minus of this expression can still give you the answer. Even the minus can still give you the right answer. Now, as you can see, now what you can see on the equation above is that now, in order to solve for x, we have to take this expression to the other side. Then that we will have b. We will have b over 2a is going to be a minus, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over, if you determine the square root of 4a squared, you will get 2a. If you have any questions on how to get it, please comment. This is equals to x. Now, the LCD is, or the lowest common denominator, is 2a. So we're going to have minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. It's given by x. Now, each and every time if you want to find the roots, you use that equation. So your roots are minus your roots, which is your value, the value of b. So the value of b will be minus b over, it will be minus b plus or minus the square root, no, not plus or minus, it will be minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And your y value is 0. And your d will be minus b plus, this was a minus, so this will be a plus, the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. The y value is 0. And that's it. Now moving right along, we have hyperbola. Right. And lastly, we have the exponential function. Right. Exponential functions are given by ab to the ab to the power of x plus p plus q. Now, lastly, we have inverses. Now, with inverses, let's say, for instance, if you have a function like that one, your inverse will be x, your inverse will be x equals ay. So in the place of y, you put x. In the place of x, you put y. So let's give another example of y equals x squared. This is a parabola. Now the inverse will be x equals y squared. Now because of that, y will be given by square root plus or minus the square root of x. So your graph will look like that. And it is not a function. Let's say, for instance, if you have let's say if you have an expression like let me change it to no, a to the power of x. If you have that expression, the inverse will be x equals a to the power of y. Now to get y will be log of x base 8. So if we have an exponential graph going in that direction, you will have a log graph, which is going in this direction. Now, an inverse, if you want to find an inverse is actually the mirror that you get if you mirror your function on this line, on the line x, or on this line, on this line, on your line y equals x. All right. Now, what happened if you have a parabola which is not a function? Now, it is fortunate that we can restrain the domain, restrain a domain in order for the function, in order for the graph to be a function. For instance, if y, e.g., if y equals plus or minus the square root of x. So if I restrain the graph, I can only say I can cut it into pieces. I can take that portion, make it a function. In that way, we will have two graphs we can restrain. So we will actually have y equals the square root of x and y equals minus the square root of x. These are two separate graphs. Both of them are functions, but this one here, right here, is not a function. So guys, this is the end of the lesson for today. Please, if you have any question, go to the comment section. Please go and like my video and also subscribe for more content. Thank you.